give you all a moment to get into your space.
Greetings, dear.
Greetings.
Greetings to all, Zardiv.
Greetings, Zardiv.
Blessed beings, as always, it is a precious moment to meet in your awareness.
I would first like to begin by thanking you all for being here at this event for many years through these three individuals, sharing your wisdom, sharing your love, sharing your support as well. And sincerely for myself and the audience, just saying thank you.
Yes, of course.
It is our pleasure.
We learned so much from you, so we appreciate the opportunity to learn and to share with you what little nuggets we have for you.
Well, I'd like to begin with the concept of family. It occurs to me that represented through these three channels and the lineages that we have quite a bit of galactic history. And I'm wondering if you could talk to, maybe even tell a story about, from your perspective, the structure of family, the importance of family, starting from the beginnings of this cycle, how that's evolved, why things are structured the way they are in terms of family, if there's anything that would be relevant, and where we are in that story at this point.
Well, from our vantage point, you all are family. We are all part of source energy, so this is a very normal state to perceive each and every one as family. But as you entered into this game of density, you needed to have that sense of connection because you didn't have that expanded awareness within you. And this is in part why you have the nuclear family. And then you have your extended family as well, because that also is a representation, as above, so below, of your extended galactic family as well. You have a remembrance. There are people that you connect with and they feel like family the moment that you connect with them. You say, oh, you look very familiar. I know you. And in truth, we have that experience with each and every one of you. We say, oh, I know you. I recognize the unique frequency that you are carrying in all that I learn and all that you share with us. So it's been baked in to your structure to help you to have a deeper sense of connection, but also to help you to have patterns and programs from which to explore this density challenges for yourself, if you will. They're set up at the familial level in your DNA, and that's why you choose your family, to help you to learn and grow.
We concur with Pleiadian beings and collectives about family being a part of Source and all that is co-creating with one another in order to be connected through the essences of the soul themselves. But genetically, the lineage of families that occur within humans upon Earth do so also as a structure for the Oversoul to experience a multitude, a variety of experiences through the same genetic traumas. This is why frequently you perceive humans coming into an incarnation cycle that is directly related, a descendant of another version of yourself, a predecessor of another version of yourself. And when you are able to go through one family line of lineage, holding the traumas from one part to another, experiencing them through different energies and different expressions, then of course you can help heal that family lineage. This is a game that human souls often play. It is one that they are truly excited to do. So in that way, it gives you the opportunity to experience the entirety of a family lineage from its first traumatic experience, all of the way to working to heal that experience. And of course, as you understand, linear time is not expressed at a soul level. So you can go through multiple families or each and every one of your family members in order to experience the entire myriad of experiences of healing, traumatizing, reversing, expressing through that same exact lineage as well.
And as we meet in your awareness, it is the connection that you call family that brings that resonance and familiarity that allows the stirring and resolution of both the traumas or challenges and the gifts and the connections. At this exciting point in your evolution, extending your idea of family is now bringing you beyond just the global family on Earth into a clearer recognition of the cosmic family that is also part of who you are. This allows the experiences that have been had through what you would consider long linear time to be brought into your present moment through the connection of love that family always is at its core, even if not always seeming at its surface, yes? But that deep connection and remembrance that is there allows for you to understand the reflection of who you are more easily as you encounter aspects of yourself that are not tied to Earth. It is for this reason that we are here communicating with you, because we are family on cosmic levels, on very personal levels, and in ways that elevate your own experience as well as ours in connecting with you. Family is a core of connection. And to understand that greater, expanded family reflects who you truly are as well.
Thank you so much. And that brings to mind the concept of a reunion. And it seems that as myself, the folks in the audience, chose to incarnate at this time on Earth, it was very consciously for many folks to assist, or with the intention of assisting in this transition, this elevation, this shift that's happening on one level, but also that experience of re-remembering who they are, their origin, their lineage, their family, and also this journey of self-love, of as their understanding of who they are more, providing more opportunity to integrate and accept all of those different aspects.
So what's the question, dear?
The question, thank you, absolutely. The question is that many folks have felt that they have been disconnected from
Yes.
their larger galactic family for 12,000, 15,000, however that is, and the significance of this time of integration when all of this information and remembering is happening. From your perspective, I would be curious how you perceive that.
So you talk about reunion, and it's an interesting way of putting it, but you're always in union, so you can kind of combine remembering and union. that it's a remembering of your union that already exists. So, to us, we've never left you. We've always been with you. And there are many physicals that are currently on your planet. You just don't always recognize that they are part of the galactic family. And you needed to be, quote unquote, isolated to play in this specific part of the game. This is, again, a game of dissension and reascension. It was designed with the genetic material from thousands of worlds so you could come down and see if you could play out the galactic issues on a smaller scale. And so we had to step back in order for you to play under the illusion. And now as you are remembering your true divine essence, you're ready to go up in frequency, then we get to connect with you again in a more direct way. But it was specifically designed this way for this portion of the game to give you an opportunity to try things, fail, succeed on your own without feeling like you constantly needed guidance from us. So think about a child who needs to try to do some things on their own to figure it out so they have confidence and that they feel like they can stand on their own 2 feet, that they're empowered. And this is what we've been giving you the opportunity to do. Some of us, we are connecting in the background in this way. We're not physically showing up to shock you and generate more fear. Because when you have this kind of telepathic communication, this channeling happening, there's still a part of you that can say, well, maybe it's not real. And that's very different than being showing up standing right in front of you that you see the same way that you see the person sitting next to you. It shatters your current perspective of reality. And the channeling doesn't do that in such a dramatic way. It gets you to rethink things, but it isn't in your face in a shocking way for your nervous system. So that's in part why you've had this time to yourselves. And as you're growing, you're going to step into that larger role as part of a galactic family. And as a teacher, that might be hard for you all to imagine, but you will be teachers of emotion and mastery over frequency manipulation in density. Because in truth, that is what you are as you go through this process of ascension.
As we perceive the concept of a reunion with consciousnesses related to your guides, entities that are seen as your star family, these energies are all correlated to an experience similar to what you are doing now. You are co-creating in joyous ways, co-creating with your guides, working towards better understanding of yourself, better understanding of your connection to the higher self as well. And when you are going through this experience of reunion, it opens the heart in a way where you can not only give that love, but receive it as well. And you look at the greater form of reunion, for the human perspective is open contact. And yet again, we agree with that Pleiadian collective from the perspective that when humans are ready for that initial contact, then it will occur. At this moment, it is not within the vibrational state of alignment. This is what channeling is. This is what direct telepathy is. This is what co-creating with channeled state is. This is why so many more humans now channel than what were 1 to 2 decades previous, or 100 years ago. Now, what is funny with human history is the further you go back, the more common channeling was, as it was a practice utilized but not understood or known in the way it is. Many entities simply perceived communing with the gods. Some use medicinal plants in order to co-create with that intuitive divine state. And the tribal humans of early Earth co-created with a simple understanding of connecting with Earth itself. This gave them that same insight, the same level of intuition, and gave them the ability to channel. and the further humans progressed and focused instead of external technology, in many ways were led to focus on external technology rather than that of the internal technology of consciousness, then of course you were pushed further away from channeling being, a natural state of being. So in our own perspective, this reunion is the co-creating with humans towards that divine ability to work in a channeled state, which is a natural, inherent form of human consciousness.
It is as if you were at a reunion now, yes? You're meeting with family in physical, discovering things about yourself, about those who are like you, discovering aspects of yourself that are not here in physical, yet communicate directly with you. The reunion is the time of discovery of self and the reflection of that which is around you. And it is this that you do here. And yet, what occurs simultaneously with this is just as invisible as we are, perhaps, to many of your eyes. That you are changing and shifting by the vicinity and the interaction, the mental and emotional awareness, that the reunion offers that reflection to you of who you are, what is within you, and what you are continuing to evolve into. That within yourself you see the generations that you have lived through and that you are yet to live. It is this that is that core of self-love when it is seen reflected in all of those around you, in its nuance of what feels comfortable and what feels uncomfortable that is within you. It is the reunion that gets you back into your heart and the recognition of all that you contain. For this small aspect that is physical is one small part of the communication that is occurring amongst you and amongst all of us. It is why we come forth to speak to you, to not only receive you, but to give that which you are. Because the connection that is here is the connection of family. We see ourselves in you just as you are within us. It is a time of heart connection. It is a blessing that is consistent if you are willing to be aware of the connections that are all around you. Your own family that has your DNA, the family that you create with the like-minded souls that you encounter, the family of Earth, and the family of the cosmos that you come from and you are.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you, Ardif. On a, I wouldn't say a practical level, but could you talk about some of the changes that as we are dimensionally shifting, as our consciousness is becoming aware of more, could you talk about the evolution and what's happening with the human physical vessel, the physical body, the light body, and how the folks might be able to take advantage of that to have the most expansion, the most health, the most joy and freedom in their physical and energetic bodies at this point, and what's available that might not have been as readily available recently?
Oh, that's a big question. So in terms of having the most joy, the most health, it's really back to basics. It's not complicated. It's being conscious of where your vibration is every single moment and putting it back in alignment with the higher resonances. You will go through times where you will drop out, come back. It's really that simple. Keep aligning with the frequencies that you want: joy, happiness, health, love, connection, peace, whatever it is. Now, in terms of what you're bringing online, you are running more energy through the body, and that is requiring a new circuitry. So you've got your current meridian system, but you are also overlaying it with a new version that can run higher frequencies through it. And so right now it is partially online for most of you, where you'll use it some days, sometimes, and then you'll go back to the old system, or there may be portions of your system that are online running the higher frequency, and then other parts of the subtle energetic body that is not fully online yet. So what does this look like on a daily basis in terms of how you're feeling? You might think that you have a lot more energy running, but in truth, you may feel far more fatigued because you are stretching yourselves. Think about going to the gym and working out with heavier weights. You've built up, but you also feel a bit more tired after that until you begin to create some stability. The muscles are growing in order to maintain the capacity that's being asked of the body, and then you'll upgrade again, and then you might feel a bit fatigued after that first workout. So many of you might be feeling a bit drained, a bit tired, a bit fatigued. It's because you're stretching and growing. If that's the case for you, make sure you are breathing more and getting more light into the body. Also, as we mentioned the first evening, you are opening up a quantum doorway within yourselves so that you can start accessing and pulling from within the body the subtle light of the universe. So imagine that light pouring into each and every cell through the quantum doorway that exists within it. That will help you. What will happen as a result of this is you have more light in your body. Your psychic abilities are going to come back online. Your ability to be more clairvoyant, to see more, to hear more, to feel more, to know more. All that becomes available to you, and you've got to practice it. You've got to practice working with that energy. And then you can ask your guides for confirmation. Say, you know, I was checking in. I think this is what I'm getting. Is it accurate? And then ask for that confirmation. And if you wonder, is this my confirmation, then take it as such, because otherwise the thought would not cross your mind. But you've got to play with it. You've got to exercise it. And that will help you to gain mastery over it.
First of all, as you perceive the entirety of the higher dimensional shift and the archetypal shift of the human body, you must address that which is in existence at this moment. What humans perceive in the physical structure and the health and well-being of the greater collective, they perceive rising in multiple different varieties of experiences that most would perceive as illness or negative consequences of physicality. Many humans have perceived autism in much higher numbers than ever before. Parkinson's in much higher levels, dementia in higher levels of all of their own experiences throughout the human condition. And of course, this is a part of the expression as well. When the human archetype itself is being shifted, it is pressing against the energy of that the same way that your collective consciousness is going out of sorts in order to rebalance the energy of the collective that has been in such extremes for long times. You see this in your world politically at the moment. You see it in politics, health, government. You perceive it in finance and schooling. And of course, the physical health is a portion of that energy. In order for humans to understand that there are problems involved with physical health, they must first perceive the worst experience of that. They must perceive the extremes of that energy. And when all of that is shown to you greatly, when all of that is pushed to the surface and shown to you, then the minds of the human consciousness will start working on how to fix that energy. And once the minds of the collective consciousness place an intention to start working on cancer, Alzheimer's, autism, all of the things that humans are deeply traumatized by, then of course the energy body can start adapting to create no resistance in its body as it further conditions to those new archetypes as well. So yes, that human physicality going through dimensions is something that many of you understand, and of course in accordance to the Pleiadian collective as expressed, is a new form of archetype that is more so crystalline in carbon. And the energy of the co-creation with that will be important, but it is also important to understand where you are now in your transition as well.
Yes, this has been explained very well. We often call this time a time of the spiral tightening. It is part of the effect of time speeding up. It is a frequency change that affects you on subtle levels first and then manifests into the physicality. The shifts that you are going through affect your subtle systems first and foremost. While that contains the light body and the chakra systems and more, you feel that most specifically with your nervous system. And subtle perceptions like time, like your own processes and steps that you would normally take, become adjusted and shifted because of that confusion and chaos that energy can create. Where you would feel grounded and clear, you may go through times and have already experienced times of needing new processes in order to maintain your normal focus. We use the metaphor of the spiral so that you understand the movement that you live within and that lives within you. You reside within a spiral galaxy, and that movement is at the core of all creation here. And so as you are in the time of the spiral tightening, it is the time to relax into the flow whenever possible, to utilize the stillness as that life of gravity moves you in directions, and teach the self to be balanced within that rapid movement and utilize that broader perspective. That is what the energy of the spiral does as it moves faster. It has a natural gravity that holds you in place or moves you in a direction. And yet, what it does is naturally spin off those bonds that are weak. And you see this in your politics, in the people around you, the emotions, the lack of clarity that many are experiencing. And yet what this spiral also does is strengthens strong bonds. That being the bonds of love, connection, support, compassion, stillness, peace, connection. So as you go through this natural and miraculous shift, you are blending the physical that is so strong and loud and real seeming with the subtle, that is a more inner experience, and calling you to understand your flow of life and integrate that broader perspective so that you are bending the linearity and the non-linearity within your own experience.
Thank you very much. I am going to ask, as I ask this next question, I'm going to invite folks who are interested in asking a question to go up to the back if there's a question you'd like to ask the collective here, or if you have a specific question for Ariane the Peas or for Trevor Ardif, if you could do that as well. So as I allow people, as I invite folks up to ask their questions, I would like to follow up on that. Ardif, you had mentioned, you had a list of I guess I would say conditions or manifestations. You mentioned autism, you mentioned Parkinson's, you mentioned Alzheimer's and dementia as this archetype is changing and some of those things. But for those of us who actually in my own family, my father passed and experienced Parkinson's for a number of years. I know this is something, those conditions that you mentioned impact a lot of us, and also not to mention cancer or any of these other things. I'm wondering if there's any information that's available to come through now, and I know this might be more of an umbrella question, are there breakthroughs on the horizon? Are there things that we can do now to help ameliorate those conditions?
Yes, first of all, depends on what condition you are speaking of. Yes, breakthroughs in technology are occurring at a lightning pace for the human collective at this moment. This is manifestation of the consciousness that is growing underneath the physicality of the human consciousness. So yes, on the horizon there are many fixes to these problems coming and occurring. But energetically, the souls who are working in the state of autism, dementia, etc. These beings, of course, as all of you are aware, come into the co-creation of Earth, manifestation of these certain things in their own incarnation in order to have their own experience. Some of these beings do not wish to come out of their own experience at the time. Some of these beings will die with their conditions. Rather than that, then be cured. Some will be cured from that condition, and that was their life experience expectancy. That was their soul journey desire. So, of course, as you work towards understanding the underbelly of that first, it is very important. Secondly, there are many forms of understanding internal technology that helps humans work in certain conditions. Cancer is one that is very different from Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's very different from autism, etc. And they are approached in vastly different ways. If you work first with a level of intention, with your own consciousness, and work with the higher self or guides to help guide you to the answers, this is the greatest path. But of course, most humans who are in a situation where these certain circumstances cause them difficulties, pain, stress, traumas, it will be much greater difficulty to tap into that intuition or to the answers. So when dealing with these experiences, work with other intuitive beings that you trust. Bounce back what you are receiving to others. Ask them for their own intuition. Now, of course, there are a myriad of other things that we can share. How to work with your own light body, how to work with your own higher self, different meditations. But these are preferential in alignment with your beliefs. Do you believe that doing jumping jacks in the morning will cure a condition? Then, of course, you would do this, and you may see your mode of illness increased or decreased accordingly. So, of course, work with intuition and others, and of course, do what feels perfect for yourself.
May we add? Some of the advancements that will also be part of this shift that has been spoken of so beautifully is to experience the human experience more holistically. So even those processes that discover how to work with frequency and sound and light to treat the physical body more holistically will also be called to understand the mental and emotional flow in a different way. Because all of these are so intertwined that part of the human experience is readjusting their mental and emotional interactions with the self and with each other and with life, so that the whole experience becomes more connected, more understood.
Thank you so much. So we'll have to take our first question, and again, if you'd like to ask the collective group for an answer, if there was a specific person, and also we just ask that you limit it to one question, please.
Greetings.
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 And shout out to everybody, this whole event. This reunion's felt really good. And for me, I've been able to open into my heart space and meet some new friends. And so just thank you to everybody who made this happen. And my question for the group is, how is it that you feel the embodiment of heaven on earth?
Well, it's as simple as thinking of something that makes you smile, frankly. And it's the intensity of that. The more you can dial into the frequency of that, the unconditional experience of that, that allows you to open up to that. It all goes back to those very simple steps of coming back into the heart-centered space and focusing on frequency. Because remember, you can only perceive the frequencies that you're emanating. You're in alignment with those frequencies. So if you want to experience heaven on earth, you have to imagine holding that within you in your resonance. What would that feel like? You can imagine. Use that imagination to get the energy running. You don't have to use the I am statement. You can say, I wonder what it would feel like to experience heaven on earth. If you say, I'm experiencing heaven on earth, the ego mind will get triggered and say, oh, really? Because it sure feels more like hell some days. So you can use that imagination and say, I wonder what it would feel like. And the more you can put yourself in that energy, the more you are emanating it, the more you will get reflections in your physical reality that will reinforce that. Your part in the process of manifestation is to work with frequency. You are co-creating with the universe. The universe's part is to manifest it in physicality. As you are emanating it, your next step is to observe what is being shown to you, and then as you observe, you say, oh, that frequency, that looks good. That looks like what I was just pulsing out there, and I want more of that, and then you engage with it. It's not your job to figure out what it's going to look like. And that's really important as you move into this next phase, because you are moving into new archetypal patterns, you're moving into new institutions that look nothing like what you've had before. And if you keep going to dip into that old box to figure out what it looks like, you're going to stay in the old box. And you want out of it. So you've got to work with frequency first and foremost. You can hold the idea of form, then let it go. Do not be attached to it. If it gives the mind a point of focus, but the emotional part is the most important part because it drives that into being. It drives the frequencies into being. The thought gives a point of focus, and the emotions get it moving. Does that help you?
It does. You speak of it as a living reflection, which is interesting. A living, like heaven being a living idea that lives with us now through a higher ascension.
Yes. All things exist. It's a perception. and you can access it at any moment. There's nothing that has to be, quote unquote, attained. You don't have to work really hard to get there. It is a frequency that already exists within you. You simply have to align with it. And that means getting out of the ego mind and getting into the heart.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm curious about how this technology, My question is about electric vehicles. So I'm curious about how this technology may interact with human beings on both a physical and energetic level, how many of us now drive, charge, and store these vehicles in garages that are attached to our homes. Are there any effects, biological, electromagnetic, or vibrational, on those who spend extended time driving and living in proximity of these vehicles? Does the presence of charging electric vehicles influence the energy field within our homes or affect the living nearby? Excuse me, I lost my place. Okay, and if there are such effects, could you share how we might best harmonize or align our frequencies and the energy of our living spaces with these technologies so that we may maintain balance and well-being while engaging with this evolving form of transportation?
Yes, when you are looking at any technology that works with electric or electromagnetic fields, it can affect a human being in different ways. The sensitivity level of many humans who are openly psychic or openly sensitive, these beings can feel more of the side effects than others. Now, in the long term, as you experience technology opening more and being more relevant and prevalent for human beings, you will experience different shifts in that technology. What now is an electric car that many humans perceive to be green? Some humans understand it to be extra pollutant when you are going through cobalt mines and doing things of this nature. The same can be expressed with wind and the turbine effects of vibration. But the truth is that all technology that humans have on Earth at this moment is considered dirty technology. You have to create some field of negativity or some field of bad feeling things or bad happening things in order to create energy. But that is not actually the truth. The truth is that there are humans who understand what free and clean energy are. There are humans who understand the way that Tesla's worked out. And this will come as a part of disclosure to humans. So in the eventuality, the problems of these technologies consistently remain inside of your present awareness, just for the same reasons that Aridif said, that humans are getting sick, that politics are going crazy, that humans can be going crazy, because you need to see the worst in order to understand that it needs to be fixed and understand it needs to be moved from one area to another. And just that energy alone is being worked on by all humans at once, the collective energy at once. Now, we understand your concerns are very physical. We understand your concerns are very directly oriented towards the safety of other humans. But every human who lives under a volcano understands it could erupt, and humans who feel that they are in impenetrable places that could never have harm also can have a vehicle drop on their house from a tornado or hurricane. A soul will have the experience it needs. The physical body will just be the manifestation of that. So we do understand it is a genuine concern, but what we can also suggest is work with the parts of that that make you fear or make you afraid for the health of yourself or others. Ask yourself what is happening with that energy. Why are you feeling specifically afraid of the electricity or electromagnetic fields? Pick up in your own energy a sense of sensitivity and gauge where that may be affected, and of course work with what helps you physically and what doesn't affect your aura field or your electromagnetic field and grid system connection, and work with grounding energy, as that will help you very deeply as well.
May we add one thing, dear?
Yes.
Yes, we do agree. The grounding is most important for you, and your belief about it will impact your own energetic field, so stand in your power. The more you stand in your power center and emit the frequencies that you want, the less you are impacted by all the frequencies around you, whether you consider them to be positive or negative. This is really important.
Indeed.
Govern your own energy, and you will not be knocked off your center.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Reba, and it's funny Treb just came through because I was kind of thinking I might ask him. I've always been super conservative with water usage and laundry and paper towels and trash and making and spending money. Throwing trash away is literally an issue for me every day. I've felt that rebelling against consumerism is important. Like throwing plastic bottles in the trash gives me stress, sadness, anger, and the like. I've always felt like I need to make up for the overusage and easy expenditure of the rest of our species. I feel so deeply sad and mad for Earth in this way. Could you please guide us in this regard and how to manage and cope with how to deal with trash, etc.?
Yes. First, we address an energy that is a bit more important at the moment, even though you have to take care of your planet that you are living on, even though the Earth is very important. If you polluted with every chemical that is available, if you detonated every nuclear weapon that you had, if you had every factory running at 200% in this moment, you could all, as humans, die tomorrow, and the Earth would start healing itself nearly immediately. So understanding the importance of how resilient the Earth is can help you understand how much impact that humans have on it may be large and may be a concern for the collective to look at, and in fact will be on the plate of the multiple things that humans look at once they develop an understanding that the extremities that we spoke of have gone to the maximum of their spectrum and have been as great as what they were, and that will be dealt with, of course. But you can't also worry about what other humans are doing. We understand it causes pain. It inflicts that energy of sadness and anger inside of you immediately when you are doing the observing of other humans' behaviors. But this will only create a misery in your own life that will cause you to consistently see it more. Because you are focused on what others are doing and your mental energy is pointed towards that, you observe things that no other human around you will observe. Because your mind is on it, it creates opportunities for litterbugs to be around you, or careless and wasteful human beings being around you more than what others would see. So it's important to address what you can do. Now, when you are doing all of the things that you are, creating less landfill, reusing water when possible, and doing all of the things you understand to be conscious and right and in alignment with the Earth, then you are already doing what you can. But if you truly wish to see a change, the heart must be filled with love rather than that of fear or anger. So instead of looking at it in what you can do to make other humans understand or pay attention to what they are doing wrong, instead what you can do is focus on what you are doing right. use joy and excitement in the heart to push the vibration out to the fellow humans around you. Telling them not that you must change your energy because you are being stupid and dumb, but instead telling them that this is exciting because it is making an impact. What I am doing by reserving and recycling actually helps the earth be better for our children and grandchildren. The energy of that goes much further in the receptivity to other humans. And this is what we observe in your political energy frequently. That gives us great joy and excitement to see humans saying, you are dumb and you are stupid, listen to me, or else. This energy shuts down the receptivity of other humans. But if the same human were to say, this is why I believe what I believe, this is what excites me, this is why I am excited of this energy, and simply shows them the evidence of what they are doing, the reason why they are doing it, without judgment or expectation for the other being to do something different, only with that joy of knowing you have attempted to share the right thing with others, to be in the right vibration with others. This goes much further than any other vibration that you can approach others with. But in the long term, in the bigger picture, if humans fix this problem, then it will be fixed and there is nothing to worry about. And if the humans cannot fix this problem, all humans will be extinct, and as a soul you will go and manifest into another incarnation cycle. So still there is nothing to worry about. So in that way, approach that energy with excitement and you'll find a better result as well.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we have about a little under 10 minutes left. There's one final question I'm going to ask them, but we have time for maybe one or two more. Probably one, actually, looking at the time.
Right now? Yeah, okay. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to ask the group this question. As the spiral tightens and as of last fall, I've been feeling the time acceleration that the Ps have mentioned. It was one of the first groups that I had heard that from. And it's not a physical phenomenon that I thought that I would encounter or even struggle with. However, I'm finding when I have to be in alignment with what I call consensus time, which aligns with the clock that we all align ourselves with, I find that I'm literally running from one thing to the other. But when I get the time to be in my flow and in the forest meditating, and it feels like 30 minutes, when I get back to consensus time, it feels like 3 hours have passed. So my question is, what strategies can you give us to help navigate this? As the Ps have mentioned, it's even speed up even more as of like next year, a day might feel like 2 hours. Right now, I'm trying to manage my energy instead of my time. And things like AI has helped in my job to get things done quicker, but what other strategies can we use? Or do we just have to wait for everyone to unplug from consensus time?
Dear one, you are on the right track. It is managing your energy. Managing time for consensus time is important, but it is managing your energy that is the key to the adjustment as the experience of time speeds up. That when you are in a state of moving quickly or a long list of to-dos, that you manage your energy within it. And you find then that the flow is far more natural. Part of this as a strategy is soothing the nervous system that is so affected by the changes that you are going through. Perhaps it is breathing, part of it is perception, more stillness, respites in the woods, or bringing those to your mind and heart when you are in that time of great movement. So the first strategy is soothing the subtle system so that as time moves quickly, you are going with the flow and yet you have that broader perspective. Perhaps it's all is well, even though I'm busy. All will get done, even if I can't see clearly. That managing of your energy is key. And yet, as you move through this experience of time speeding up, relax into the energy of consensus time. That feels just as natural to you as the times of no time. Because what you will begin to create is much more flexibility when there is a lot of action or no action. That life becomes more of a moving, changing meditation. And it is why you practice those times of being silent, being in the woods, so that when you are in the weeds of life, you can navigate that just as smoothly. You are on the right track. It is natural to you.
We would say ditto. But also, let us offer you something for you to play with in terms of time. Time is a marker for frequency. That's really all it is. So if you know that you need to join the group at a particular time, you set an intention that you reconnect, that whatever it is that you're doing, you have as much time as you need to complete anything that you need to complete, and it is completed at a specific time. So you can expand the experience or you can contract the experience. And then you join up with the group on the now moment that is the marker for that frequency, which is the time. So you get to play with time. You'll be shocked at how you can, quote unquote, manipulate time when you start seeing it is just a now moment that you're meeting up with, not something that is linear and there's no movement off that linear path. You can go all over the place and go to all kinds of destinations and meet up at that end point. But that happens all internally. So play with it, have fun with it, and see what you can manifest with it.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And in the few minutes that we have remaining, the piece you mentioned that I think the term you used is there's things coming online that we can't conceive of, new reorganizations of things. Could you talk about that, or maybe all three groups? Is there anything that you could share in terms of what is potentially coming down the pike that we can be excited about, that our frequency putting out for something that's more loving, something that's a higher frequency, even though we might not right now be able to have a concept of what that actually could look like?
Well, without stealing your creative thunder, we're only going to talk about one aspect of that, because it is really important that you figure this out for yourselves without us painting a picture for you. This is part of your creative process and part of the joy. It would be like somebody telling you what is in the box at Christmas time before you open the box. That's rude. It's no fun. So we're not going to do that for you. But what we will say, free energy is coming. And once you have disclosure, the first question you ask is, what energy are you using to get here? This is why so many beings wanted to keep things under wrap in terms of your connection with interstellar beings and the fact that they are here. Because your entire political and economic system is based on energy. And when you take away the power that is held by controlling energy, absolutely every single one of your institutions changes, because your perception of reality changes. And how you choose to build those new institutions is going to be up to you. The beautiful thing about right now is that you are looking around and you're seeing what is not working, which allows you the opportunity to re-examine and to say, well, if that's not working, let's do the opposite. And so you can start putting your focus there and start putting together the opposite of what isn't working and combining them in new ways. You will have a different governmental system that's coming, and you're going to have to figure that out. And there may be other beings who show up to share how they govern themselves. Sometimes you all might think, well, that could be okay. Ooh, maybe not. That's not really for us, but thank you. And it's an exciting time. We know that right now it feels really hard. You look around at the world and you say, oh, you know, it's so chaotic. Are we ever going to get out of this mess? It's going to turn around in a very, very, very short amount of time. And it all begins with the frequencies that each and every one of you hold. What we loved about what has been said here already is about you focusing on the positive aspects of stuff instead of fearing and worrying about what may or may not happen outside of yourselves. You're just choosing how you want to be and the contributions towards the positive end of the spectrum that you're making. And that's how you radically change everything. And we're excited to see what you build.